Yeah, hold on.
Hey, FPL managers, welcome back to another episode of BPT for Gameweek 11. And Suj, I have to say, it was a great week this week, but I'd like to clap slowly clap. Not for United winning a game, somewhat convincingly. Not for Southampton, for their players screaming in German, nine, nine, nine. Not that. Not even for VAR making better decisions this week. And hell, I will even go as far as to say not for one of the best rugby tackles I've ever seen by Guendouzi, followed by a nice Xhaka meltdown. None of that is worth my clap. You know what's worth my clap? A good game week. That's what's worth
Oh,
the clap.
fantastic. Oh, okay. Sounds like you're a Vardy owner. That's why you're saying that, right?
You know I am. You know I am. But anyway, I'm Utz, and I'm joined by High School Suj. And Suj, please tell me you also had a great game week.
A very happy, above average 62. I'll take that.
That's perfect, bro. Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot to see from last week. Look, we can obviously go over Vardy when we go through our captain picks because he'll definitely be amongst them.
For
But
sure.
let's just start with some of the things we learned from last week. And, talking about Leicester, is it time for you to start bringing in to dive deep into the Leicester team?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely with the run that they got coming up, I'd definitely go for them. But I mean, I personally think that the next game might be a bit too soon for you to jump onto all of them, but you're going to have to jump onto at least 2 or 3 of these zones for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, look, I mean, in that game, like Leicester since game week 7, right? They've beaten Newcastle, they've beaten Burnley, Southampton. They've scored 16 goals in that time, and they've only conceded 2, right? And then the one game they lost was away to Anfield, and that was a 2-1.
Yeah,
So
cheated.
yeah, and in this big game, I mean, they broke a couple of records. Like, oh, can you help me out, yo?
Well, there were two players with a hat trick in the same team, and I mean the 9-0
Oh yeah,
alone was a record on its own, equaling record with United, not just a record on its own. By the way,
yeah. But what about this? By the 90th minute, by the 90 minutes were done, they had an FPL record, which is every single one of their starting 11 had scored some FPL points more than the standard 2 points for playing. Yeah.
I'm
And
happy I do there.
yeah, and in that game, Perez scored, Madison scored, Chilwell scored, Tielemans scored, and Vardy scored. I mean, that's all the assets you'd want from that team,
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I
I
would
mean,
have to agree with that.
and now with Vardy ownership 20.4, he might quickly become someone that that you'll be cursing if you don't have.
Maybe a season keeper. That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking
no,
earlier.
definitely, maybe. Moving on to some of the other points, we obviously saw another hat trick. So this was a weekend of hat tricks. We had Pulisic, aka Captain America, apparently. He scored a hat trick, and I mean, I'm sure a lot of the people who brought in Hudson-Odoi thinking, oh, 3 assists in 3 games. This is perfect, cheap asset. And then Pulisic pulls a sick hat trick. Sorry,
the
that was
perfect hat
Laban.
trick.
Yeah. And then Martial returned with obvious results. Yeah, I mean, look, it was. No one should get carried away. It was Norwich, but you might see something in the captain picks. Yeah, and then I would talk about Arsenal, but let's leave. I think we'll leave them for.
I think they've had enough drama for a little while. Let's leave them
Yeah,
alone.
but we did call it a while back. We've had, like I said, we've had Aubameyang off our list for a little while, and we did say that when Lacazette would come back, it would really harm Aubameyang's chances. And in the game, they both played up front, right?
Yes, they did, both of them.
And still they did nothing. So I mean, both
Yeah.
the goals that they scored was from set pieces. So you're hearing a lot of Emery out. So to me, it's Aubameyang out if you got him in your team.
Yeah, rather him.
Yeah, but let's not waste any more time. We go straight to our picks for the week. So here's our usual suspects. We've got, well, Sterling, of course. He scored. De Bruyne and Mane. So what do we got on Sterling?
Yeah, well, I mean, Sterling, after that Champions League debacle of scoring so many points, he came back into the league with Aguero on the bench
Yeah,
and just went on to score. Look, if you had him as captain, you got a decent game because he scored some nice
yeah,
points there.
yeah, yeah. The big captains are starting to come back again, and I mean, I think he's on top of the expected points ranking for the last 4 game weeks. 30.5 expected points. Sure. And I mean,
Yeah, he's amazing, man. You have to admit, he's no longer that Liverpool player who couldn't finish. He's now the finished article.
yeah, fair enough. But his form wise, I mean, like he's definitely the pick from Man City.
Yeah, look, you're gonna have to take this game that they played against Southampton last night into context because both Sterling and Mendy and De Bruyne didn't play a part in it at all. So, and Aguero played a full 90 minutes. So I'm guessing that Sterling will start and play and score.
Yeah, exactly. Well, talking about Kevin De Bruyne, I mean, he's obviously the league's most creative player. He's got like 10 big chances created, key passes 34. He's definitely getting involved, and quite a few crosses, so 77. Yeah. And considering that he
Exactly.
hasn't been playing all the games.
Yeah, man. You got cheated out of 9 points last week because Silva got a bit of a touch to it at the end there.
Yeah, no, exactly. And then if I just look at, I'm just looking at some of the stats here. They're playing Southampton. I mean, we don't have to speak about what happened to Southampton, but
Yeah.
you know what? In the last 1, 2, 3, 4 games that City have played Southampton, right? In the Southampton home games, City scored 6-3-3, so 3-1-3-1. In the
Okay.
2 games before that, they played both, where City played both home games, it was 6-1-6-1. Yeah, and in there we had Sterling scored twice, Aguero got 2 assists, and Sterling got an assist as well. So, sure, is this the week to maybe triple captain?
Yo, I don't know. I'd like to keep mine for a double game week. Thanks.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. What about Mane here? Because I mean, he got through some difficult fixtures, and now it looks like it's clear sailing. You know?
Yeah, man. Look, it should have been Aguero there, but because he didn't start last week, he fell out of this thing. Yeah, and we all know that when Salah scores the game at home, Mane is going to score the next week away. You know.
Yeah,
Plus, he's cheaper. He seems to be on. He's got more points than anybody else in that whole Liverpool team. It's just cheaper than Salah, man. I'd prefer just to have him.
but I think they have a very similar stats. You know, and I mean, Salah obviously did score midweek. So I mean, rather sorry, last week rather,
Yeah.
and but I was watching the highlights, and I just feel like Mane gets more in the box. He's playing definitely as more of a forward. So look, if you have either of them, you're gonna score. Just to actually just pick up something and just maybe go back to the City guys. I just want to pull this up here. Check this out. I mean, I'm looking at Liverpool's fixtures, right? And so they're playing Aston Villa away. Then they play Man City. That's gonna be like a big game. But then they got some clear sailing. You know, look at it, like lots of greens in there playing Crystal Palace and Brighton and Everton, and I think they'll smash Everton considering that team's fortunes. Now this is the thing that's getting me about having Sterling and De Bruyne and Aguero and whoever else from City. They're playing Southampton, and yes, you triple captain and you do brilliantly. Then they play Liverpool away, they play Chelsea at home. Okay, fine, Newcastle they'll destroy, but Burnley has always been troublesome for them. Then they play United and Arsenal. That's a lot of reds in their suit. I don't know. I'm scared to dive deep into the City team.
So you'd prefer rather doubling up on Mane and Salah, who are guaranteed to play every week and are guaranteed to, when the points happen, it happens between one or two of them.
Yes, that's what I'm thinking at the moment. But I mean,
Look,
for
I'd,
this
I'd
week,
have to agree
obviously,
with you on that one.
yeah. But for this week, obviously, you're gonna stick with your guys, right?
No, for
Uh,
sure, yeah.
yeah. So let's move on to the form, guys. And obviously, we did mention Vardy earlier, but let's start with Willian.
Yeah, Williams got 2 goals and 2 assists in his last 4 matches. The only reason why I chose him over Pulisic is that just for the fact that he's been having his form over 4 matches and he's going a bit under the radar, man. He's only 1.29% owned.
Yeah,
So if you don't have Mount, you could take a chance on William. He seems to be a banker for starting.
yeah.
I
And
mean,
he's a reliable asset from the past. 33 points in his last 4 games. I was shocked when I saw that.
if that's not form, then I don't know what is.
Yeah, exactly. And if people remember correctly how we've picked these players, we obviously, go to the Premier League, the Fantasy League game, and we select the drop down and choose by form, and then we kind of pick players like that, you know.
Yeah.
And he's definitely up there now because I think Tammy and Mount have been a bit slow and steady rather than bursting, and I think Willian might be your option for, you know, in that team. Moving on to Vardy, I mean, look, I don't know how much more we have to say. We've been punting him for the last few weeks. But you know what I noticed though about him is like he's got 8 goals from 10 big chances and 12 shots on target. That seems a little bit like he's hitting the mark like every single time. Do you think?
Yeah, I don't think that's sustainable as such.
Yeah. So I mean, you're really relying on his fixture, right? So I'm looking at the fixtures for them, and that's also not great. So while we've been hammering him on, and if you captained him last week, well, fantastic. But maybe this week I'll be a bit down on him because the last couple of games they play, I'm looking at the games they played against Crystal Palace, and Crystal Palace smashed them 4-1 the last game they played, and then a 1-0 loss before that as well.
Yeah, I don't think they've beaten them for a couple of games they had Crystal Palace's home ground.
Yeah, if you go back further than that, 2018 they lost 5-0 to Crystal Palace. So
yeah, so look, they are in better form. They've got better players now, so it won't be all out Crystal Palace win, but it'll be a tightish game because Crystal Palace won't just get knocked over.
Yeah. And then I'm pleasantly surprised to see Marcus Rashford here on this list.
Yeah, finally a United player to talk about, and he's only there because of the fact that now that Martial's back, the so seems to be going to carry on scoring the way he was before Martial left. He has been scoring in between. Also coupled with the fact that he's one of United's only strikers.
Right.
And after that goal last night, I think I think this one's going to get about 25 goals. At this rate, he'll get about 25 to 30 goals, barring injury. Right, he's got 10 goals already, and it's only 11 game weeks.
10 goals? Don't you mean 5 goals?
No, I mean for the
for the season. Oh, okay, I understand. Yeah,
and I mean 30 goals in all competitions.
Yeah, and despite
there you go, those days are over, right?
And despite missing how many penalties, he's still on penalty duty. So you can counter that. Maybe what counts against him a little bit is the price. 8.4. If I'm just comparing him, Willian. Yeah, if I'm comparing him, Willian and Vardy, I can see that shots inside the box, 17 to 70. He's 17 to Vardy 17. That's on par, and he's actually taken more shots in general, right? And shots on target is the same as Vardy.
Exactly.
But you said Vardy, like I said, he's kind of like been hitting more. And here's an interesting one: minutes per chance, right? So Vardy's is 45 and Rashford's is 29.7, which means Rashford's getting more chances.
Yeah.
And if United team continue improving, if they actually improve, for 8.4, he might be very much worth it.
I don't see why you shouldn't take a punt. I mean, especially if you're going to get rid of Aguero now, you might as well rather just bring the Soki in.
Yeah. But in terms of captaincy, would you really captain him this week? I just think obviously, look, we've been a bit... how can I say, we just picked guys this week because we knew, I don't think anybody's going to pick anyone outside of Man City this week.
Yeah. But look, to be very honest with you, I saw a guy who has no Man City and no Liverpool players since the start of the season. Wow. And he's got more points than us. He's got like 580 points in his mini league and he's on top.
Okay.
So that just shows you how the season is gone. So if there are people out there who, like last week, took a chance without, not... captaining City O and went for Vardy, it paid off. So, out of these three here, if you don't want to go for a City O, I'd go for Rashford.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I'd go for Rashford.
Yeah, as long as, I would just calm it down a little bit because I would say I was a little concerned that he went off with the hobble. But yeah, I think he's going to start being a solid pick. You're really relying on United picking up their form. And they've won 3 on the bounce now, so let's see if it becomes 4.
Beating Chelsea twice. Thanks.
Yeah, you had to put that in there. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's it for this week then, Such. Good luck with the game week and all the managers out there. If you like what we're doing here, please make sure to like the video and subscribe as well. We really appreciate it when you do. Otherwise, good captain pick and Sterling.
And please, Pep, if you by mistake see this here, please don't do what you did to me last week. If Aguero's going to be on the bench, just leave him on the bench. Okay? That's why I have vice captaincy.
Yeah, exactly. Cheers, Suj.
Shot, man.